Joining me now with more, 2024 presidential candidate and host of the Larry Elder Show, the man himself, Larry Elder. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So let's start with the Biden impeachment. Lindsey Graham says this motion would be dead on arrival, which is really interesting, as this clearly was not the case with President Trump. Larry, what do you make of this? And do you think we actually have a shot at impeaching this geriatric fool in the Oval Office?
Well, the issue, Allison, is this two-tiered system of justice. And just think, had Republicans not taken over the House, we wouldn't even know about much of any of this stuff. We know that Hillary Clinton clearly violated the Espionage Act with her unsecured server in her basement on which she sent and received classified information. But James Comey does his big presentation, and at the end of his presentation, he says, but she lacked the intent to violate the law. Well, the specific provision of the law that she violated did not even require intent. And of course, we know about the DNC and Hillary paying for the Steele dossier that led to this 2.5-year Russiagate investigation. The FEC fined her. She designated the money for the Steele dossier as legal expenses, which is exactly what Donald Trump did regarding the Stormy Daniels payments, designated that as legal expenses, but he's facing criminal charges at the state level. And of course, Joe Biden is accused by whistleblowers of accepting bribes in exchange for policy decisions. As far as I know, that isn't even being investigated. And we know about the sweetheart deal that Hunter got for violating for false statements on his application for guns and for not paying taxes for 2 years. This is an administration that claims rich people aren't paying their fair share in taxes. And Joe Biden, when he was in Congress, passed a bill that would have possibly caused Hunter to face almost 10 years in prison because they believe that there are too many guns in America. So the double standard and the hypocrisy just blows you right in the face. That's one of the many things I'm going to be dealing with when I become president. To that end, Allison, I need 40,000 individual donors to go to my website, elderforpresident.com, throw something in the tip jar. It can be as little as $1, so I'm qualified for that first debate in Milwaukee in August.
Well, I love that. That's great. We definitely need some better leadership in this country. It's very clear at this point. Now, Speaker McCarthy wants to impeach Merrick Garland over the handling of the Hunter Biden investigation and the weaponization of the DOJ. Larry, what do you make of this? How do you see this playing out? Do you think anything will actually come of it?
Well, this all comes from the top. Even if he is impeached, of course, it goes to the Senate for a trial. And if there's a trial, he won't be kicked out of office. So the impeachment, of course, makes a statement. But the real statement is we need to get rid of the person at the top, and that's Hunter Biden. That's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and that's why I'm running. Look, we have to do something about school choice. There are 13 public high schools, Allison, I kid you not, in Baltimore where 0% of the kids can do math at grade level, yet the Democrats are opposed to school choice because they're joined at the hip with the teachers. This lie that America is systemically racist is getting people killed. The police are pulling back. It's called the George Floyd effect or the Ferguson effect. And as a result, there are hundreds and not thousands of people who would be alive if it weren't for the police not doing their normal proactive policing. And those people that are what are called excess deaths are mostly black and brown people, the very people that people on the left purport to care about. And finally, Allison, we need to talk about the 10,000-pound elephant in the room, and that is the epidemic of fatherlessness. 40% of American kids now enter the world without a father in the home, up substantially from what it was back in 1965. And we know the stats. If you were raised without a dad, you're 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. Now, the question is, what's happened? What's happened is through our welfare state, we've incentivized women to marry the government. We've incentivized men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. Finally, we just now had this big debt crisis thing. And I'm old enough, Allison, to remember this happens every now and then, and always it can get kicked down the road. We need an amendment to the Constitution to fix spending to a certain percentage of our GDP, with exceptions for war and for natural disaster. And if the congresspersons don't do that, they get kicked out of office. And we need to get rid of these soft on crime George Soros-backed DAs. I propose legislation called Enforce the Law Act so that states around the country can set up commissions of retired judges, retired DAs, to hear complaints that these DAs are not doing their jobs and to make recommendations as to how we can get rid of them. These are some of the issues I'm going to be campaigning on. If I get up there in that debate stage in Milwaukee in August, 40,000 individual donors, as I said, $1, a minimum $1 contribution. Go to my website, Elder for President, throw something in the tip jar, get me up there.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.